everyone, my name is Ruhansh and I'm really excited to share my project with all of you today. I made a rock paper scissors game using the full computer called the Microbit.
Why did you choose this game instead of another project?
I chose this game instead of another project because the rules were simple. It gave me more practice to my coding skills.
So, can you explain how the Microbit chooses rock, paper, or scissors?
The Microbit chooses rock, paper, or scissors using something called the random number generator. The most fun part was seeing it all happen all together. It was so satisfying that I burst into excitement.
That does sounds like a fun part. So, how did you test the game to make sure it works?
I tested the game to make sure it works by shaking the Microbit over and over again to verify the result every time.
Hello and welcome to today's episode. We are thrilled to have Ruhansh here as we dive into the exciting world of coding and creativity. Today, we have something really fun and interactive, a classic game with a tech twist. We'll be exploring how a simple game of rock, paper, scissors is turned into a smart microbit project. So get ready to hear about the inspiration, challenges, and cool coding tricks behind this idea. So let's jump right in and meet our young innovator. Hi, so can you tell us your name or all about yourself and introduce your project to us?
Hi everyone, my name is Ruhansh and I'm really excited to share my project with all of you today. I made a rock, paper, scissors game using the cool computer called the Microbit. With just a stick, it secretly chooses rock, paper, or scissors and then it will play against itself.
Sounds like a fun project. So, what inspired you to make a rock, paper, scissors game using the microbit?
I was inspired to make this project because I love playing games. Rock, paper, scissors, one of my favorites. I thought it would be a fun and challenging idea if I taught a computer how to play it.
Nice. That's a creative reason. So, why did you choose this game instead of another project?
I chose this game instead of another project because the rules were simple. It gave me more practice to my coding skills.
That's good choice. So, it's a classic game, I would say. So, how does your microbit game work from start to finish?
The Microbit game starts when you give the Microbit a good shake. The Microbit's built-in accelerometer senses the motion. Once it feels the shake, it secretly picks a random number between 1 and 3 for player 1's choice. 1 would mean rock, 2 would mean paper, and 3 would mean scissors. This would be player 1's choice. It will do the same thing for player 2. Now, the Microbit will compare both players' choices and then it will scroll the winners on the screen.
Awesome. That sounds smooth. So, can you explain how the microbit chooses rock, paper, or scissors?
The Microbit chooses rock, paper, or scissors using something called the random number generator. I told it to choose a random number between 1 and 3. I told it that 1 would mean rock, 2 would mean paper, and 3 would mean scissors. This way, every time it would be a completely new and unpredictable game.
Definitely, very cool. Random is the way to go, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so did you face any challenges while coding this game?
Yes, I faced some challenges while coding this game because I had to check if the Microbit chose the winner correctly. I had to check the Microbit over and over again and to check the result and everything.
Yeah, that can be tricky sometimes, right? So, what was the most fun part of making this project?
The most fun part was seeing it all happen all together. It was so satisfying that I burst into excitement.
Oh, that does sounds like a fun part. So, how did you test the game to make sure it works?
I tested the game to make sure it works by shaking the Microbit over and over again to verify the result every time.
Nice, nice. Good way to test it out. So, what did you learn about coding while building this?
I learned to use the if then else statements to make the decisions in the code. I learned to make variables to store the specific information, and I also learned to use the random function for the player's choices.
That's a great takeaway. So, if something like didn't work at first, how did you like fix it?
If something didn't work at first, I checked each line of the code, like how a detective searches his clues until I found a mistake.
Definitely like smart thinking. So, that's how you learn, right? So, could you make other games like with the microbit? Which one would you try?
I would try other games like catching the ball, or I could make a game of hot potato using the buttons on the microbit.
Oh wow, that would be so cool. I would say that that would be a cool game to make. So, what advice like would you give to someone who wants to try this project?
My advice is to start with a simple idea. Don't be afraid. This is the way how you learn. Remember to run your code a lot to make sure it is the way you want it to.
Great advice. Super helpful. So, do you see yourself making bigger coding projects in the future?
Yes, I see myself making bigger coding projects in the future. This project was a great start, but I want to learn even more about what I could create with my coding.
Definitely, that's awesome. So can't wait to see what you build next, Ruhansh. So now this is time for parents' question. Very welcome to you, sir. There's this one question we would want to ask you. Could you share the role that you have played in supporting your child's project, and how does it feel to see them create something so innovative?
Yeah, I think from my perspective, like as in I've always tried to be, like a motivator or a cheerleader for him, and try to make sure that he understands like how coding really works by breaking it down into like smaller tasks, like so that he can understand like what each task needs to be done. And then I actually really feels very great, like as in to know that he's able to cope up with the coding, and on top of that, like he's able to express himself as part of the presentations and the podcast like this. I think that is very I'm very happy to see that he's taking such larger leaps across like 1 year of Moonpreneurs.
Definitely. And the responses that I have got from him are really professional and to the point. So that's wonderful to hear, and it's so great when parents are involved and supportive of their kids' creativity. And definitely, it must have been rewarding to see Ruhansh take ownership of such an innovative project, and it really shows how much encouragement can make a difference.
Yes, I think we are definitely proud of him, and I'm looking forward to for his next projects.
Definitely. So thank you so much for sharing your experience, Ruhansh Dad. It was lovely having you here. Wasn't that amazing? It's always inspiring to see how creativity and technology come together to make something so engaging. Thank you, Ruhansh, for sharing your project and showing us that even a simple game can become a fun learning experience with the right tools. And thank you to our listeners for joining us today. Stay curious, keep experimenting, and remember, every big invention starts with a small idea. Until next time, keep coding and keep creating.
Thank you for listening to my presentation.